Hello and welcome. Today we're going to start understanding and studying the universe. And by that I mean study physics, which ultimately aims to learn how the universe works. For the episode today, after a brief introduction of physics, we will directly jump into the Class 9 physics syllabus of the BBE. Today it is Chapter 1, Forces and Acceleration. At the end of the video, we'll know what this sign means with reference to physics. I am Yogesh and this is the Amateur Bhutanese. Why can't man fly like a bird? How does a bird fly? Where does the sun go at night? What are stars? The answers to these simple questions are what we now study as physics. So, what is physics? Physics is a branch of science that answers all the natural phenomena of the universe. And all these can be proved using mathematics. The most beautiful thing about physics is there are no presumptions and it can be proved. There is not a single question of a common man that physics cannot answer. In the subsequent days, we'll answer all these questions together. But today we are going to start with the basics, and it will include some terms and words which you will be familiar with, and some which you may not. But as you go learning more, these terms will be common and easier for you. So let's start. Today we are focusing on the basics of force and acceleration. We will start with the two most important thing of all, distance and time. What is distance? Simply stated, it is the length between 2 points. For example, say I traveled 57 kilometers between Paro and Thimphu in 1 hour. So the distance is 57 kilometers. It's the length between 2 points, Paro and Thimphu. Another term similar to distance is displacement. Displacement tells how much an object has moved from its initial position. Like in the example above, the displacement is 57 kilometers because me, an object, has moved 57 kilometers from its initial position. But if you follow a circular path, say you start running from one end of a 400-meter circular ground and complete it in 20 minutes, when you have completed one round and reached the point from where you started, your displacement will be zero. Because in the eyes of displacement physics, you have not moved from your initial position. But the distance you traveled will still be 400 meters. Your displacement will also depend on time. At 10 minutes, when you're halfway, you will have a displacement of about 200 meters. As distance relates to time, we need to understand what is time. Time is not easy to define, even though we all know what it is. For the sake of study today, we can say time is a duration between 2 points or actions. For example, it took me 1 hour to reach from Paro to Thimphu, or it took me 60 minutes. If you have understood what is distance and speed, we can move to the next part. But if you have not, please go back to the basics. We can then proceed. It is okay if you're confused. It is always okay to ask questions. Now that you know what is distance and time, we will move forward. We will learn about units and understand what are scalar and vector quantities. Distance and time or any other quantity is denoted in units. Units are a standard chosen to express quantities. It may be difficult to understand it that way, but this will make it easier. How do you convey your weight? In kgs. How do you say how far you traveled? In kilometers or meters? In how much time? In hours or minutes? These are called units, and it helps us understand quantities. Now, quantities are also two kinds, scalar and vector. Scalar quantities describe us the amount or magnitude of a quantity. Example, kilograms, kilometer, hour. Vector quantities describe us both the magnitude and the direction of a quantity. Example, 5 km north, 5 km in quantity or magnitude and north for direction. These are the basics which you will need to understand further. We will now combine distance and time to get other quantities. For this, you will need to understand units and quantities very clearly. If you have not, please rewind the video and clear it up again. So now, we will answer the target question of the day. What does this sign mean? This is a road sign and it says 70 km per hour. What does it denote? It tells us about the maximum speed a car is allowed to travel in a road. But we are learning physics, so we will interpret it in distance and time. 70 kilometers per hour means the driver should travel at such a speed that it travels only 70 kilometers in 1 hour. What is the quantity here? It is 70 and the units kilometers per hour. This is known as speed. Speed is the distance traveled in a certain time. Velocity is also similar, but it considers displacement of the object in a certain time. And you know the difference between distance and displacement. Both speed and velocity have the same units, kilometers per hour or meter per second. We learned before about displacement, and it showed it can be zero if the initial and final position is the same. Therefore, we can say that it considers direction. As velocity is displacement per unit time and considers direction, it is a vector quantity. Whereas speed, it is distance per unit time and hence a scalar quantity. In conclusion for today's video, these are the things we learned. We will continue with further quantities and try to understand it better with graphs in the next video. This has been a wonderful experience and a chance for me to learn newer things. If you think this has helped you, do subscribe for notifications for the other videos that I'll be putting up. Thank you for listening. I am open to questions and suggestions for improvement. Till then, keep indoors, keep clean, and give at least an hour of your day to study something new. Thank you.